he was going to school when he was introduced to this business. And when he started his business, he took it very, very serious. Okay, more serious than most. He has broken all kinds of records. He was the first one in the history of the company to sponsor over 100, personally sponsor over 100 people. Okay, he also was one of the fastest people to get to the top 25, and also to become a rising star as an executive director, which that award actually goes to senior directors, but he did it so fast that he deserved that award. He so deserved that award. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. Rising star. He was the rising star in his first year in 2012. I think that's it. Oh no, he's also the #2 money earner in the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah. He's actually competing with my sponsor, Mike Fody. They're neck and neck, competing for first place. Okay, so who knows? Maybe he'll be first next in Pennsylvania. But please, please help me welcome the #2 money earner in the state of Pennsylvania, Executive Director George Koufalis.
This business is 10% energy, it's 90% about people and relationships. You saw some great senior directors standing up here. The network alone that I've gained, the relationships that I've gained in this business are priceless. I mean, I know a good pastor now, I know where I can eat, right? I have somebody over there can sell me a house. It's pretty awesome. But everybody that brought you here obviously thinks highly of you. For you to be in the seat here, you are among greatness. The people that are sitting here, that brought you here, are aspiring to great things. And they believe that you're an individual who can also aspire to greatness. I'll tell you, 2 years ago, I started this business. It was 27 months ago, actually. I was a landscaper. I was cutting lawns for a living. I moved back home at 36 because, actually, I moved back home, 36. I had to go back to college. I was 5 weeks behind on my, hey, my mom couldn't afford to pay me. We were behind. I was working on the weekends cutting lawns, and I thought maybe college would be the answer. And things were really tough. I gave up my car, and in 2011, my mom walks into the spot and says, I have an opportunity. You got to check it out. And I said, nope. I'm not into those kind of things. I don't sell stuff. I don't buy things. It's probably some kind of scam. You know, I said all that stuff. My mom agreed, and she'll kill you with guilt if you don't do what she says. So I took a look at it, and I got involved. Now, 2 years ago, there was a Super Saturday event. It was in January 2012. I stood in the back of the room. I was against the wall. The place was packed. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody wanted to hear me speak. But guys, from the moment that I joined this business to 18 months later, I was a top 25 money earner. Okay, I pulled up in a 97 pickup truck 2 years ago. I pull up today in a brand new white Lexus. You can notice it not because it's so nice, because the whole side is dented, the door and the fender. So just because you get an expensive car doesn't mean you're driving to get better. You'll notice it out there. It's all dented up. What are you gonna do? But so the car is nice. I bought my house cash. That's great too, right? What I do now, I get to help a lot of people, which is really my business. I get to help a lot of people. But what's more important than the money, what's more important than the car, what's more important than the house, is the time freedom that I've earned. Freedom to be able to not have that feeling on Sundays. And you know you got to go to work all Monday. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you're watching football, you're trying to enjoy the football game, but you know you got a boss tomorrow morning who's going to tell you what time you can go to the bathroom, what time you can take vacation. Can you have your birthday off? You're scared to ask if you can have your birthday off, right? So for me, that time freedom has been the best thing. You know, I remember being a kid and wanting to grow up so fast. You remember that, right? When now it's time to slow down. And I remember being 15 and turning 15, and my mom introduced me to her girlfriend. And her girlfriend said, you know, and it was about a week after I turned 15. How old are you? I was like, almost 16. You know, my mom's like, you just turned 15 last week. Well, 16 seemed like an eternity. 17 seemed like an eternity, right? 18 seemed like an eternity. But then I hit 18, and something really weird started to happen.
Started getting fast.
Correct. Life started going by fives. 18, 23, 28, 33. I'm 38 years old. Okay, no, I don't want kids, thank you. But wait for that. But I will speed things up, so I told it for you. But yeah, 38 years old, guys. Time flies. Okay, and I remember being 36 and saying to myself, "Is this what life's about? Am I going to work 40 hours a week for 40 years for 40% of my pay? Is that where I'm going to be? Is that the life that I put myself into?" And I realized when Ignite came into my life, that the life that I was living at 36, I didn't wake up that day and create that life. That life was created 3 or 4 years earlier. So what it made me realize is that we have to plant seeds in life. If you're 27, you're listening to me right now. If you're 35, you're listening to me right now. If you're 45, you're listening to me right now. The life that you're living today is the choices that you made a few years ago. Whether if you're in a bad relationship right now, that was a choice that you made a few years ago getting into that relationship. You planted that seed. Whether you have children that you're dealing with, a lot of it's responsibilities. You made that seed when you had a baby a couple years ago. So whatever seeds you plant, they come full force. So the seeds we're planting here today, I'll tell you this, we're just planting seeds. They're not even going to probably come to full turn until about a year or two from now, okay? So I want you guys to understand, if you want success in your life, you want to change in your life, okay, you're going to, first of all, have to be uncomfortable. Okay, you have to be uncomfortable to change. So from point A to point B, there has to be some kind of uncomfortableness. I was not a network marketing guy. This was new to me. I had fears. Okay, I've had failures in life and other things. I've had pain in my life from other things. But I took that fear, I took that pain, and I said, you know what? If I keep doing the same thing I'm doing, I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. And the next day, the next day, the next day. Where do I want to be in a few years from now? Okay, what do I want to live? I want to have that nice vacation. I want to have that nice car. I want to have that nice house. Why can't I have it? Of course I can have it. I just got to believe in myself, okay? And I started running with the business. And I became a managing director. Yes, I became a senior director. I became an executive director. I became a top income earner. But not the guy that I was 2 years ago. Okay, the guy that I was 2 years ago wouldn't have been able to lead 2,000 people. The guy that I was 2 years ago wouldn't have been able to promote to executive director. The guy that I was 2 years ago wouldn't have been able to make videos to help my team. So what does that mean? That means I had to look in the mirror, first of all, and say to myself, are you really worth this much money a month? Are you really a guy who can lead this many people? No, you're not. So as I started making money, which is very easy, you can learn and earn at the same time with this business, which is a great thing. You can earn and learn at the same time. But I realized I had to have an accountability partner. I had to be stretched. I had to listen to constructive criticism. I had to be willing to personally grow. And more importantly, I had to be willing to want to learn more tomorrow than I learned today. Okay? And that was really the key. That personal development was the key to my success. The business plan is simple, guys. McDonald's does not make the best hamburgers in the world. They're a $2 million franchise to purchase the #1 franchise in America. Why? Because of the system. 16-year-olds don't want McDonald's. It's a system, okay? So I want you guys, you might be sitting there now, we can have excuses in this business. You can say, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I'm too shy, I'm too busy. Okay, so here's a line right here. This is your positive side of your brain, this is the negative side of your brain. Here's the negative side. I don't have the money to do it. Here's the positive side. Well, maybe I can postpone my kids' MMA classes for a month because I believe this business will get my investment back in a few weeks. And then maybe I can even get my kid even better equipment in 2 months. I think that would be a good idea. I don't have the time. Okay? Maybe I should stop bowling for a couple of weeks and maybe try to invest in this because this will give me actually time freedom back in the future. Maybe I could stop watching that TV show. So there's two sides of our brain, okay? There's two sides of our brain. Well, I'm really shy. I don't think I'm outgoing enough. I don't like to talk to people. Well, the company does have some pretty dynamic people that are willing to help me. There are some leaders that are really motivated and ambitious and they're willing to help. There's a lot of marketing tools. So guys, it's all about what you perceive, okay? If you perceive negative affirmations, you tell yourself you're going to fail before you even start, you're going to tell yourself it ain't going to work, you're going to drive to work every day and tell yourself you don't like your job, you don't like your boss, you don't like this. You're telling yourself those things. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to believe those things, so you're already going to achieve it. But if you believe in what you're going to do, and you start saying positive affirmations, you wake up every day, you start saying positive affirmations, I promise you in 30 days, you're going to see things in a totally different light. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. So that really, for me, was the most important part, realizing that I had to grow into the income. I had to grow into the position that I was, okay? That if I wanted people to follow me, I was going to have to lead by example, and I was going to have to be willing to stretch myself and go through that. And I'm going to tell you guys, was I discouraged at any time in this business? Absolutely. Did I ever feel like I was failing? Absolutely. You can't have success without discouragement. You can't have success without failure, okay? And are there going to be people that you're going to go out right now, you're going to be excited, you're going to tell these people that you want to do this, you're going to make a lot of money. Are they going to laugh at you? Absolutely. My friends laughed at me. My friends told me it wasn't going to work. They told me I'm wasting my time. Why? Because some people have given up on their dreams. So because they've given up on their dreams, they're obviously going to give up on your dreams, okay? Some people will always see the negative. Okay, some people will never see greatness. No matter how great something is, they will never see it. So you need to allow yourself not to have that clutter into your brain, because that will label yourself, okay? The person that brought you here today has obviously achieved a great thing. If you have a circle of 5 friends, I will tell you right now to make sure that person that brought you here today is in that circle of 5 friends. Because you will be an average of those 5 people. I'm not telling you to go home and get rid of those 5 people. What I'm telling you is, in 6 months from now, one's going to drop off. Because either got married and got too busy with their marriage, or they moved, or they relocated a job. Think hard about who that 5th person is. And I would definitely start spending more time with the people in this business, okay? If you're here for the first time looking at this, come back for a second look. Okay? The more and more you look at this opportunity, the more and more it makes sense. To me, when I first looked at it, a lot of numbers. I'm not good at math. But I understood that. It made a lot of sense to me, okay? It made a lot of sense. So I'm going to ask a question here. I want you guys to raise your hand, because there's people in this room that probably might be thinking some of these. Is anybody in this room having success with Ignite that at the time when they joined, and keep your hand raised, please, for me. When the time that you joined, you were time restrictions. You did not have any time in your life. You were so busy. Okay, yeah, okay. Anybody in this room who, when they started this business, and you're having success, didn't have the money, keep your hands raised for me. Okay, there you go. Anybody in this room who was shy, didn't like to talk to people, didn't know people, raise your hands. Okay, I see a lot of hands raised, okay? Has anybody in this room have had success, and people have told you, no, it's not going to work, it's a scam? Look at this, guys, okay? All right. Guys, I want you to understand something. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Okay, you hear that? It's an opportunity of a lifetime, but you have to seize this in the lifetime of the opportunity. This is not going to happen again. It's the last and final deregulation in American history. It's happening one time and one time only. Okay, we have a chance to be alive during the largest transfer of wealth in history. Okay, so I say let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. Thank you, guys.